What's up, guys? Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you could be watching this. Welcome back to a new episode of Kevin's Fate Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Davis. I am a comic creator, a author, entrepreneur, a go-giver, as I've been told, and I occasionally get yelled at for not sleeping or eating correctly. But it comes with the job when you're creating a lot of stuff at the same time. But today's guest is a new friend of mine. We've been mutuals for quite a while, I think. Time has flown, so I don't know how long. But this is our first time meeting, technically face to face.
True.
So please welcome to the show, Mr. Parker Newman. How you doing, brother?
Sweet. Pretty good, man. Yeah, it's been a really good day. So even better to be on your podcast. So yeah.
Heck yeah, brother. Man, I've watched your story for I don't know how long now. From you being rejected by a publisher to just starting your own thing and then get picked up by Rise a
Saker.
Comic,
Yeah.
Rise Acre Comic. Man, please, I'm just gonna get right to the nitty gritty
Yeah.
before we start nerding out and broading out. Dude, tell us about your journey, bro, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of rejection. I mean, especially as upcoming people that's coming in. Like, please tell us your wisdom, how you went through all this, man.
Yeah. So when I first developed City of Demons, which for those who don't know is a noir crime series that's currently being published through Wiseacre Comics. It's a 12-part miniseries, and it really dives into Hollywood and through two private detectives who have to, solve a serial killer murder mystery where a serial killer is targeting one of the top officials of one of LA's top crime families who are very much embroiled in the Hollywood studio system of that time. And by trying to find a serial killer, they then find out a lot of the dark mysteries and really a lot of the dark sort of secrets Hollywood has had for its entirety. And we're seeing a lot of that come to light now through a lot of the more, prominent sort of like P. Diddy style, Epstein style,
Whew.
Weinstein sort of stories we hear now in the news. But that
Yeah.
culture and those just really horrendous truths have been in that place for really since its infancy. So that's really where the story I was looking to take it. And so it's more specifically to the journey part of it. I developed the first 10 pages. And with my artist, Kingsley Eze, who's super talented, we developed the first 10 pages to send off to different publishers. That's, for those who don't know, that's
Absolutely beautiful art, by the
right.
way.
Thank
But-
you. Yeah, Kingsley is the man. And so
Oh yeah.
I'm part of an art collective. I can paint and do abstract sort of impressions, and that is actually all of the variant covers for the whole series. Is actually my sort of charcoal, sort of mixed with graffiti art look.
Whoa, really?
Um, so I can do that stuff. All the original character creations, I actually painted and drew through that medium, but I knew I wasn't a
Dang.
comic book artist, and that's very different.
Uh, yeah,
And
I
so
got you.
Kingsley is a true through and through comic book artist, and he's gosh, he's so good. So I lucked out by having him agree to like collaborate with me, and he's been as big of a supporter of this comic as I have, as I've been. And so we developed the first 10 pages. And again, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of the norm when you're shopping around a comic book series. Is you do 10 pages and then you have to create a marketing proposal, and then you need a very super structured outline. That's, I think for me, was about 3 pages long, and we just got nitty gritty, the super detailed what happens
Ah,
for roughly each arc. And
gotcha.
so we have 12 issues, but I think technically we built in like 3 arcs, so four
And
issues per arc.
you actually wrote this yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
whole series is written and created by me. I
Okay.
actually wrote. So it's funny. The story itself, I actually wrote it back in college. Like I think sophomore year of college. So my normal day job, I'm a videographer. I create commercials and whatnot, and so I have a very film visual sort of mind already. And then in
Dude,
college, I screenwrite.
sorry. When you mentioned that, I'm actually I'm a new photographer, videographer, so I'm actually studying that.
Yeah,
I got some of my equipment with me, so I've been studying cameras. So that's
yeah,
actually very awesome you mentioned that
yeah.
because
Sick.
I am like an aspiring like I want to be a filmmaker someday. I want to
Yeah,
expand from comics and then to like film and like create TV shows at some
yeah,
point. And so it's actually really awesome that you actually mentioned that. I was like, oh,
yeah.
sweet, cool. Now I can questions about like get into that
Dude,
too. I was
ask
like, that's
away.
freaking
Yeah, because
awesome. And especially like watching movies now, my brain clicks differently from a
yeah,
fan and from a writer's point of view, and like from a I guess director's point of view now in a way.
yeah.
Because I always pay attention like some movies how they have the camera angle a certain way to take a shot. Like for
Yeah.
example, like Superman, how he has to fight scenes in the air and how he maneuvers the camera around to show
Yeah.
Superman. And I was like, dude, oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it just got that brought the nerd out of me right quick.
No, no,
So,
that's it. No, yeah, because I'd say it's a that sort of way of thinking. When I send my scripts off to Kingsley and everything, so again, for everyone who doesn't know how a comic book script is formatted or whatever, you typically have it, formatted page by page, and it can depend on how niche the writer wants to, or how nitty gritty the writer wants to get into the details of the layout of the page. I typically get very involved in the layout of the page, just coming from a film graphic mind, background. So I will send Kingsley. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know of anyone who else who does this. When I send him my scripts, I will send him screenshots of scenes from like shots from movies,
hmm
and be like, "Oh, I want this panel to look like this, or have this line effect, or I
that's
want this character to have this
yeah,
specific expression." That's really minor, but if they're
that's
being, read in
funny.
between the lines of it. So
That's I
yeah,
actually do something similar like that.
yeah,
Like when I'm for like my current comic Halloween,
mm,
I use like shots from like Halloween or
yeah,
Scream or like Welcome to Derry, like Pennywise. Like I'm like I want this expression
dude, that sounds
shown.
terrifying.
Yeah. Like I want like this emotion to be shown at this
Right,
page is like this way for this typical character. I was
right.
like, I want this character to be an a-hole like this character from this movie. I'm like, so that's freaking awesome.
We just and we work through like, and especially for like a period piece for City of Demons, which is 1924 Hollywood. There's so many things that I'll just send, like, you kind of have to think a little bit. You have to take the extra step a little bit when you're doing something. So if you have a scene where like we have like a jazz club in one of our
Yeah,
issues,
great. Yeah.
and so the specific instruments and even like the microphones from that era look different. And so I just sent him screenshots of what little instruments look like. I sent him things of like specific, like Kingsley drew a car for one issue, and I noticed, I was like, I've had to be super granular about this. I was like, hey, that car is the wrong decade. Like, it's off by a
Ah,
decade. It's close, but it's
yeah,
off by a
yeah.
decade. So I was like, these are just the little things, because I actually come from the mindset that if you focus on those little details, then that mindset, that is really, because it really portrays the effort, the really just insane attention to detail I try to bring to this, and the reader will feel
Oh
that
yeah.
throughout the whole series. And if you're doing a mystery with very intentional clues set forth for the reader to take part in, they're really going to feel that intention. I feel like you see that and you feel that with any great TV show, any great comic, obviously, great movie, great any sort of storytelling. But dude, I tell you, when we first shopped this comic around, I would get either rejections or I would get ghosted. And sometimes I would get a guy who say, "Hey, this looks really cool," and then I would get ghosted. And so,
I don't
um,
understand that whatsoever.
so I felt like I was being almost gaslighted for a second. Like because I thought the 10 page we had were really solid. I thought it was really solid, and maybe by the later in the part, we developed the full first issue just to help sell it more. Maybe
Ah.
maybe our thought process.
hmm
So we showed this to publishers, and I got rejected. I got a rejection email, and I just was like, I don't get it. Like, I think what we have is legit good. The art's
Yeah.
good. Not to be arrogant, but I was like, I think the story's well written enough. Maybe it's not. Maybe I was just too close to this. So I just got kind of frustrated. I emailed back a guy as nice as I could be. I emailed back a publisher. Hey, just want to know what's wrong with this? Like, what can I improve on? And the email I got back was, he said, "Oh, the story is fine. Like, the story's good. Like, there's he said there's nothing wrong with it." I was like, I read this. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So there's nothing wrong with it. He said, but it's your first comic, and you're not a known entity, and your artist is not a known entity, and I was like, and so that kind of hurt me, because I'm like, so it's not the actual product we've made is not the problem. The problem is me, or at least that's how publishers are viewing it. And because I'm obviously not super well known even now, and so I was like, dude,
Everyone has to
what?
start somewhere though. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
and so honestly, this may sound harsh. I think a lot of people, not just in comic books, but just in general, who do that to people, when they legit see that there's talent or skill in something, and they say, well, you're not too soon, right? I think they may be people that lack vision. They lacked, because it's like, for me, it's like, I'm a young guy. I'm 25. My artist is same age. Is like, we're young guys.
Oh wow, dude, I'm 26.
Dude, what's up? It's
That's
but
funny.
the thing is, like, we're like, we're pretty young, or the little kids may call us unks now. But
Yeah, that I don't mind it. I think it's adorable when they call us that. I was like, they're kids. I'll take it. I don't
dude,
mind
I'm in
it.
my 20s. I want to stay young as possible, right? So
Dude, people think I'm older because how I carry myself. So I'm
really,
like, I
yeah,
was like, yeah, because everyone I've been around, like, they're like, dude, you're such an old soul. Are you sure you're
yeah,
26? I was like, yeah, I'm 26.
dude.
Because I don't do like normal stuff. Like people our age. I'm like, I'm
I
legit.
shaved today, dude, and so with my facial hair, I look probably around 30. But when I shaved, I just look like a child.
And
I just, yeah.
man, and then some other, like the other people think I'm like 18.
Okay.
I was like, I'm 26, but thank you.
Well,
I was
dude,
like,
it's like,
I get my genes from my mother. We don't age. I was like, my mother doesn't age, so I get my genes from her. She doesn't
that's
age, so I'm
lucky.
like, I don't age.
Dude, my family ages like crazy, so so you
Oh
lucked
my
out
god.
on the genetics.
Oh bad. But yeah,
Dude,
I really don't get why publishers do that. It's really freaking weird.
part of me
It's
gets
we're
it
not.
because, oh, sorry, continue.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
But it's like, part of me gets it just from like if you a pure business point of view, right? Especially on the independent scene, small press scene, name recognition matters a lot. But at the same time, like,
But you have to build that up, though. That's the
yeah,
thing. You have to take a chance to build that up.
yeah, and if you're a company that has, because there aren't many comics, but if you have a company, a publisher that has any sort of resources, you can prop them up, do something, right? And if you want to, get them to start somewhere else working on a, maybe a more established character or brand, cool. But I think the deal is, it's just that they probably get a lot of submissions, if I'm being honest. Because I think you're going to meet a lot of people everywhere, even if their crap is not, sorry, even if even if their work is not very good.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of people that are not in comics, but just in life, kind of delusional about how good or good they are. So I'm sure they
Yeah.
get a lot of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
where a person saying this is the best thing ever, and it's not. And so I get it in terms of, we just got to cut the fat off and just focus on people that may have done something big or something. I don't know. But it's very frustrating to know that the product you made was good, at the very least good. And then it's rejected, not because of the product, not because of any of that, but because you and your team was just not big names enough. And it's like, okay,
That part.
it's
That
crazy.
part.
And yeah, so after a few rounds of that, we did actually get two publishers who gave us those offers, willing to work with us. The one we ended up going with was Blood Moon Comics, which was a growing.
They were awesome. Sorry, I mean
Dude,
I
they
know
were awesome.
they're
Yeah, they
freaking
were, weren't
awesome.
they?
I was friends with them on Instagram. I was
Oh,
like, they're freaking
dude,
awesome.
keyword, they were.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, so I got, you know, Blood Moon agreed to be my publisher, and they were really hitting their stride, in my opinion, getting an audience for more horror esque comics. And I was thankful and kind of surprised they took City Demons, even though thematically it's darker and gritty. It's not a horror book, but they did, and I thought, obviously super thankful for that. And
I'm
then
saying,
so
but I think I consider noir as a thriller subgenre of horror. That's how I
that's
see
probably
it.
how they viewed it too. To be
Yeah,
honest, I didn't talk to the guy
yeah,
at Keith about it too much. I was like, oh, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
um,
So I think it's like a thriller subgenre
yeah,
of horror.
and I mean the name City of Demons helps. I think if you're playing that in
Yeah.
your lineup. And also, side note, the name, because people always ask me about the name. So before anyone, in the chat or anyone asked, no, I did not know that there was a Hellblazer City of Demons. So I don't follow Hellblazer. I think he's a cool character, but I don't follow the comics. Also, his City of Demons is very different than ours. His was a literal City of Demons. Ours is a metaphor. It's a play on LA being the City of Angels. And the demons refers more to sort of the darkness of Hollywood itself. Again, ours is a grounded, noir, historical historical fiction comic, Constantine comic, the Hellblazer stuff, is obviously not. Very different. Also, there are no literal demons in winged creatures like in our comic. Again, it's a metaphor. Okay, let's move on. So,
But there's a lot of titles that have the same titles but different
yeah,
storylines, so it makes sense.
yeah. And the guy commented on one of my posts. Was like, "Ooh, it was Hellblazer." I was like, "What's that?" Like, I was like, I had no idea. I don't read Hellblazer comics.
Yeah,
I've read only maybe
I never read
2 or 3.
Hellblazer, so
Anyway, but yeah, we got with Blood Moon, and then, dude, I had just gone through so much like personal heartbreak and hurt, and then when I got the Blood Moon offer, it was like, this is great. Fast forward, I think maybe under a year, and I go on a podcast, and the 2 guys on it, I'm promoting City Demons, about to come out. It was coming out that month.
no,
The first issue was supposed to come out March of last year.
okay.
So I was promoting the comic, trying to get pre-orders up. And the guys talked to me. They're like, so have you been following the Diamond distribution craziness? And I was like, and again, for people who don't know, Diamond was pretty much had a monopoly on American comics in terms of distribution. And it was... So he's like, well, have they heard? Because there's a lot of craziness going on in comics around Diamond. And
To the part where you was promoting the podcast.
Yeah. So I joined the podcast.
Yeah.
It was that was a month ago before our first issue was supposed to release, literally March of last month.
Okay.
Sorry, March of
Last year. I got
yeah.
you. I got you now.
Anyway, so
I got you.
I talked to them, and during the podcast, they say, "Well, have you been keeping up with the craziness going on with Diamond?" And again, for anyone who doesn't know, in comics, Diamond for decades and decades had essentially a monopoly on the U.S. comic book distribution. And towards the end, I think it actually been going on for years, but they were very poorly managed, missing deadlines on delivering comics to stores. It was a poorly run company. I think the model at that time, it's improved a little bit, but the model is not the greatest. I think most people in comics would probably agree about
Yeah.
But so with Diamond, so they'd said, "Have you been following this?" I was like, not a little bit. Like, I heard something, but I didn't think it affected me. They're like, and one of the guys said, "I would check back." This is on the podcast. I would check back in with your publisher to see if they're okay. And so right afterwards, I got kind of scared. I emailed my publisher, "Hey, dudes, I heard about this. Is everything okay?" The next day, I get an email. "Hey, Parker, we're closing down. We're shutting our doors. We're losing money. We're just bleeding money because Diamond declared bankruptcy. We have Blood Moon was pumping comics out in distribution.
Yeah, they were.
And so they had, at least I was told, roughly 40,000 issues, which is insane. 40,000 issues just hold off in storage somewhere under Diamond distribution, not making any money, not being sold. So you're just bleeding money at that point. You're losing a ton of money because you have comics just in storage, not being sold. And I got a phone call on with Keith Rommel from Blood Moon. He's a great guy. I'll support Keith. Super supportive. I called him and I was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" And he said, "Yeah, we're just closing up. Blah 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 blah." And he just said he just vented honestly for an hour, talking about how mad he was and just everything. And he said, and this did give me a lot of confidence because Keith and I would turn in issues to Blood Moon, and I would not hear any notes back. So I really did not know how Keith truly thought about where the series was going. And he said, but one of the good things was on that phone call, he said, look, he said, when I don't give someone notes, that means that's a compliment. I only give you notes if I think there's something wrong. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then he says, look, I really liked your comic. He said, your comic was actually one of the ones he said, the most excited to release to people. He said, I thought it had a real chance of catching on. And I was like, oh. Twisted the knife in my heart a little bit because and then he said, but he said, here's the deal. If I liked your comic, he's like, I really liked your comic. I guarantee you I won't be the only one. He's like, I guarantee you I won't be the only one who liked it. And I was like, okay. So I messaged a few people from that podcast I was on before where they told me about Diamond collapsing before my eyes. And then I reached out to one of them. I said, hey, dude, do you know any publishers that just weren't affected by this? And he said, let me reach out to one of my friends. And there's a YouTuber. She's a woman who does a lot of independent comics called K-pop Junkie, and
I've heard of her.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's cool. She's really cool. And so I messaged her saying, "Hey, here's my comic. Here's what it's about. Who do you think this would be a good fit for?" And the top of her list was Wiseacre Comics, who I heard of because of the connection early days between Frederick Littles and Godhood Comics, which has sort of
yeah.
taken off.
I was like, dude, Frederick Little he's such a good soul. That dude's
And
freaking awesome.
yeah, he's been awesome to work with. Very transparent, very upfront. Has been a really great a really great fighter for this comics. Been quick to message me. Been quick to make all the creators in Wiseacre feel like a community. Talk to
Oh
each
yeah.
other, get feedback from each other.
Oh yeah.
He's a super smart guy. Great storyteller.
Most definitely.
Again, I
Yeah.
knew of him because of the initial connection to Godhood.
Yeah.
And so I knew of Magnus. I knew a little bit about that and read it beforehand. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. He knows what he's doing. Like in terms of pacing of a page, you can really tell
Oh yeah.
someone knows their stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so this guy's good. He also knows how to sell well. He knows the market well. He knows, and what's great about Frederick, he sincerely wants to help the creators, and he's very just upfront about some things that may suck. Not about the book, but about like the industry as a whole, where it is about some things are just crazy pain points.
Yeah.
But immediately, I had a conversation with him where I actually messaged him on my Instagram. I said, "Hey, dude, here's the situation. I got notified to you. I read your comic. Can you tell me more about this?" So we had about a 90-minute talk on Zoom. And, dude, it was great. It was a perfect match, in my opinion, of publisher and creator. I was like, dang, I really enjoyed this guy's vision. Also, it's important to know people who your publisher has contacts with distribution-wise. Massive and Lunar, Massive's more one big one for indies, and then they have a contract with Lunar that then goes all over the place. It's important. He had great connections with both. He was able, because he was not in a firm contract with Diamond, he avoided the whole Diamond
Ooh,
collapse.
smart man.
So
Smart
so
man.
so I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
because that was the first thing I asked him. It's like, okay, be honest with me. Is your business going to die next month? Right? Because you don't want to sign that, obviously. And then he said,
Very true.
nope, didn't do it. I was like, okay, good. And he talked about being with Massive and everything. He said this was great. He's been really, really, good in terms of getting. Again, I was so thrilled with his support of City Demons because from a publisher, that's what you need. Is ideally someone that's just willing to battle for the book, get you opportunities to really grow your audience, grow your reach.
Mm.
And once I got that, it's like, okay, cool. And it's still rough. It's super rough because that's not the most painful thing, but it's like you go through all this, you lose a publisher, and when I lost my publisher, Blood Moon, I felt like it was a really distinct feeling of all this effort, all this time I put into this thing. Because at that point we made 8 issues.
Eight
And,
issue. Let's freaking go.
yeah. And right now we've made a few revisions, but we're close to finishing it. But we've just released issue 1, and we're going to release issue 2 on March 25th. So just in a few days.
Nice, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we're releasing. So big note to everyone: we're releasing an issue every other month. And so we just, after losing it just felt like everything I worked for, like a big dream I had to be a comic book writer, to at least put my name out there in some way, was just dead on arrival. And it was just like that day. It was just heartbreaking because it was like, I put all this time and effort into this, and for what? Like that was the idea I felt. It was like, what did I do this for? And because I spent a few weeks just even going like, do I even want to do this anymore? Because the industry is so, especially back now, right then, was insane and still kind of in a changing period. And I was like, will this even lead to anything? More? And honestly, right now, I don't know. And I think that's exciting in a way. I think, a lot of things in life, not just creatively, but just in anything, I get excited about that I don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things out of your control. I could not control
Yeah,
what Diamond did and how messed up Diamond was. Right?
yeah,
Could not
oh yeah,
affect that. You can affect a million things in life, but I think it's better to view that from a very optimistic lens because it's like like next week, I don't know what person I will meet, what opportunity will pop up. Next month, I don't know. There are things going to happen in the next month of every person's life that they could have never predicted, ever. Like, literally a week before I met Frederick Littles, never knew I was ever going to meet the creator of Magnus. I never knew that years prior, or like a year prior, that Comic Con saw Magnus. Never could have predicted. Oh, about in a year's time, I'll like actually meet that guy and like work with him. Never could have predicted that.
dude. It was funny. I've been in comics since 2022. Officially, as of May, it would be my 4 years. I didn't grow up reading comics at all, actually.
Really? No
Yeah,
way.
I did not grow up reading comics. I read novels and like books, and like I know like Marvel and DC by their animations and movies and
Mm-hmm.
TV shows, but I never knew there was another medium before then. And so it was 2020 when I fell in love with comics and found out
What
about
comic
comics.
changed it for you? Like, what comic was like the light bulb, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I was well first since it was COVID, it was always in the house and stuff. I'm like I'm an introvert, so I'm used to this. I'm always in the house.
It was
Uh,
paradise.
but I was like, but I don't want to be sitting around watching TV all day like that. I want to stimulate my brain with something else like that's actually not with the media and stuff, with everything going on with the COVID and just all that mess. I was doom scrolling on TikTok. I'm like, I don't know what the hell TikTok was. I was just scrolling down. I was like, whatever, whatever. I'm like, I need to get out of media. I'm like, I don't want. I was like, I need to. I want to just watch. Don't want to just watch TV. I don't want to be on TikTok all freaking day. And then that's when I found. Then my like For You page popped up with like comic artists and publishers. I was like,
Yeah.
comic. I was like, what the hell is a comic?
No.
And the first one was like Black Sands Entertainment popped up on my page first. Well, one of the first. And I checked out his books. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. So I bought copies of his graphic novels, and I was like, oh shit, this is
Yeah.
really good. I was like, wait a minute. And then Ace Blade comics comes up.
He's actually from my area. That creator is from my area. Yeah.
Ace Blade?
So um, I live in Winston Salem right now,
Uh,
and in North Carolina, and so about like 20 minutes away is
dude,
Ace Blade guy.
that is so freaking
So
cool.
I actually messaged him in college because I knew about this comic. I went to my local comic book store, kind of like, oh, you check this out.
Yeah,
Yeah, Quinn, Danny Quick, and so
dude, how small the world is.
yeah,
That's
so
freaking
I
awesome.
messaged him, I emailed him. I was like, hey, dude, I'm a college student in the area. What's your advice for this and that? And I messaged him a few times on social, but I don't think he ever responded.
Yeah, he's very busy. He's very
Yeah,
busy.
I mean, no, and I'm not going to against the guy at all. I just,
I know. I was, oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Dude, he's one of the most awesome people I've ever met, and we're
dude,
friends.
yeah. Then I met
And
him
we've
on
been
a
friends for
comic
like a
book
good three
convention.
years now.
You've been what?
So I've been friends for like a good 3 years now, maybe
Oh
like
shoot.
three
Yeah, I
years
would
now, I
love to
think.
talk to him like in person or like over this. That'd be great.
Dude, you're gonna nerd out like crazy. He was on my live stream podcast a couple months back, and
dude,
dude is such an awesome soul.
dude. Oh, I was about to say after the first. Yeah, I think I have the first two Ace Blade issues somewhere here.
Yeah, I got no, I got up to 7 or 8. I forget what number I'm on.
Dude, I was about to say I
I
would
think
love to
I'm
meet him
yeah,
on like a live. If you could set this up. uh,
hey, anything's possible.
yeah,
Well, we'll see about it. But yeah, anything's possible.
yeah. I should just
But then
invite him
he
out to lunch or
he
something.
popped up. Yeah, he popped up on my For You page, and I started buying his comics. And since he was selling on the TikTok shop, and then we became friends instantly because I became a big supporter of him, and he gave me shout outs.
Right.
Most because I kept coming back and coming back, and so that's how we kind of built our connection and
Yeah.
friendship. And then Marvel, for some reason, is on TikTok.
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel was on TikTok, and they were showing like comic book pages of like I think it was Spider-Man and
Yeah.
like Thor and everything. I was like, wait, what the heck? It's like that you guys are books too?
You really knew no. Oh my
I
gosh, dude,
did
this is
not know
hurting me. Are
whatsoever.
you kidding? This no.
I did not know whatsoever, dude. And so I went to their
I don't,
website
I
for.
don't believe this. Wait, what?
I'm so serious. I'm so serious, bro. And I went to their website. I was like, they're freaking books too. I've always watched their movies and their TV
Dang.
shows and the animations, and then I watched the DC same way with the movies and TV shows and
Yeah.
animations. So I was like, now I found out the Marvel. I'm like, let me go check out DC and see if they're the same. They're freaking comics too. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then I've always seen like comments. I'm like, that characters not really comic accurate in the
Yeah.
books. I'm like, what do you mean comic accurate? And they showed me like links to the character's book. I'm like, are you freaking? I was like, where the hell have I been? I was like, have I been in my hole that deep that I did not know these comics existed? And so
So
I went
did you
like
watch
ball
the
fell like,
Marvel? Like, were you a big fan of the Marvel movies?
yeah, I
How did
watched
you
the
not?
movies. I did
What?
not know they were comics. I
Wait, so the
legit
original Marvel intro, you remember where it was like showing like all the comic panels going by real
I didn't pay
fast?
attention, dude. I did not.
What did you think that
I just,
was?
I don't know, dude. I was a kid when they movies started to come out. I was like 8 years old when it came out. But even then, as I grew, I still did not pay attention whatsoever. I was just ready for the freaking movie. I didn't care for the intro.
See, I see that's one of the ways I first, as a little kid, found out that
Uh
movies were based on comics was because of that intro. They show like all the comic panels going
I did
crazy.
not know whatsoever.
Wow.
And I grew up watching Blade. I didn't know he was a Marvel comic character. I watched the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and I watched the original Spider-Man animations. Never knew they were comics at all. And so I went
This
like
I don't think
got
I've ever heard this before, but you're the first person who's gone like, oh yeah, I didn't find out until like 20.
like I went to like their website, like check out their digital property. It's my first time getting into comics. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I'm going to check out the
Yeah,
digital. So of course I had to go to my Spider-Man because that was the first like I actually
yeah.
grew up on Spider. And then I went to like the Black Panther, went to the Thor, and Captain America. One of my big inspirations is Captain America, so I went to get his comics. And then Loki, I love the villains. I've always
Yeah.
fallen in love with villains because they're so freaking cool to play a villain. Then same thing with DC. I went to the Wonder Woman. I went to the Batman and Superman because that's where they get their mony from is Batman and Superman. And then I learned about Aquaman.
Nowadays it's
Oh,
just
I
all
also grew up on
Batman.
Smallville.
It's all Batman.
Yeah, I also grew up on Smallville. So Smallville was my
Yeah,
first Superman.
great show.
He was my first. So when people ask like, "Who was your Superman?" I said, "Mine is technically Tom Welling,"
See, this is
because
crazy because you know like a lot of superhero properties before, and like I just didn't know. Like,
I just didn't know that there were books first. As I said, I'm like, technically my Superman is Tom Welling because I actually grew up watching those 10 seasons or so.
I wish we could
Uh,
have seen him like in like a movie or as super.
that would have been cool. Well,
In the
now that I
perfect
know
role.
wait, now that I know he has a suit, then Henry Cavill became my Superman before I learned about Christopher Reeve and Christopher Reeves. Then even watching the Arrowverse shows, I still never knew they were comics. I never knew about the
Wait.
comics.
Did you ever wait? Did you ever go to a Comic Con before
I have
you?
not been to Comic Con yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna say if you had, it was gonna be very bad. You're like,
I'm like,
oh
not
no,
yet. I didn't know about
dude.
Comic Cons. I'm like, I didn't find out about Comic Cons until 2020 either. That's how deep of a hole I
Stop
was
it.
in. I'm
This
not
is
lying, dude.
crazy.
Like, I'm not joking. I knew of like Comic Cons, but I always go for the movies. I never knew they were actually comics because I didn't know what the heck they were. So I knew of them, but I don't know they were based on comics first before they got to the movies.
Okay, what is the best? See, this is interesting because I, at a very young age, my dad made the brutal mistake of buying me a comic, and I fell in love with it. And so for you, what is the best story or graphic novel you've read so far?
So far,
Which one? Like the newer one?
no, the first one.
Like in the 70s?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, that
But no,
I was
I went back. I went back to the original
no, that's a super fun thing. I mean, it's totally there to sell action
because I
figures if you
because
know
I
their
went back
story.
to the original
Yeah,
because they're doing a sequel movie after
yeah.
Doomsday. So I'm like I researched it. I'm like, let me go back to the actually very first and like
Yeah.
read. I'm like, this is a huge event. How are they gonna put this into this freaking? I think it's way too early for it because with this multiverse saga, it was been very messy and like it's been jumping
Just a little.
everywhere. And I was like. How the heck are they? This is a massive event.
Yeah,
If they screw this up, they're gonna lose a huge fan base.
dude. I'm just saying. Look, I love the sequel, the original Secret Wars comic. I've not read the
Uh,
newer one, but the original one, I found out about it because for I think it was maybe the anniversary, some sort of anniversary for that comic.
hmm
They did a limited edition toy line. I know at least it was at Walmart where it would get two action figures. They were kind of cool, two action figures from that comic, and as part of these action figure set, there would be a issue of that comic. And that's when I got two of those sets. I was like, this is the superhero Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic, and like if you know the history of that comic way back then, it was totally to sell action figures because they were showing limited edition action figures with the comic back then. I don't
yeah.
care, dude. I know it was a commercial. It was sick. It's fun, dude. It's just fun, and it's cool to see all these characters together in a big like
Heck yeah,
arena.
heck yeah,
Also, with Rhodey being Iron Man, is a really cool reveal. Does it make a lot of sense? I'm sure it does. For me, reading that time, not really, but I was like, this is cool. Like you're not look. It's a fun story, and then people are always like rough on it, but it's fun. I'll say what changed it for me was I knew I liked comics as a kid. Like I like naturally, right? I think every person, to an extent, likes superheroes. I think every person naturally likes a comic. They just need to be given an opportunity to, at the right time, to read one. And what changed it all for me was I think I was 12. And again, my dad did not know exactly what he was getting from me, because, he's an older guy and comics were just for kids when he was growing up. And so he got me at a Barnes & Noble. There was Batman, The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. Have you read it? Dude, but
wait.
I'm sure you know of it.
But is that Batman Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, the Frank Miller. It's
Nope,
like the
not yet.
most
Not yet. I have not read it
dude.
yet.
It's like
I
the
heard. I keep hearing about it.
quintessential
People,
Batman story.
you're not the first one to tell me that. I've been told I need to read that
Yeah,
one, and I read the Halloween Batman one.
Long Halloween's dude. It's
Yeah,
such a
because
breeze to read
I
through it
read that
too.
one because that was I know that was inspired for the Robert Patterson movie.
And the
The Bat.
Dark Knight, you see a lot of trace of it in the
Yeah,
Dark Knight trilogy.
yeah. So I read the Halloween Batman, but I haven't got to the Dark Knight Returns just yet.
Dark Knight
Like
Returns.
I've been advised a lot of books I need to read. So I'm making my way around.
so
I'm making my rounds.
so when I read Dark Knight Returns,
And you said about
and
Frank Miller, right?
yeah, Frank Miller,
Okay.
who he's to be honest, he's probably the guy when it comes to not only just Batman but Daredevil. Like the
I know Frank
Daredevil,
Miller. Oh, I know
yeah,
Frank Miller.
yeah,
I
like
love Daredevil. I love Daredevil.
Born Again. To be
Oh,
honest with you, is
fantastic.
probably if I had to be like objective about it,
Mhm.
that's probably his best graphic novel slash story.
Really?
Just in my opinion, I will
Uh,
probably reread Dark Knight Returns and change that answer,
mhm.
but Born Again I think is just super cleanly tightly told. I love David Mazzucchelli. I think he's the best artist ever to work with Frank Miller. I think his
Yeah.
art perfectly, especially in year one, perfectly is a perfect match for Frank Miller's sort of hard boiled dialogue and writing. But I tell you, dude, with Dark Knight Returns, when I read that at 12, probably too young to understand all the little subtleties and nuance of it. Even
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
12, you read it and you still go, this is great. Like, this is really cool. But it wasn't just that, it was the fact that for the first time I read a comic that, in a way, kind of showed me what this medium can do and can be, like in a true artistic way, and like something that had like true artistic merit to it. That was, wasn't just Batman, Bing Bang Pow, the Joker, done. Like, I know a lot of people go on to, like, when they talk about that comic, they talk about how gritty and dark it is. What I take away, even when I reread it, is there are great little stories in these issues where, it's like a mom. She got, like, and Frank Miller is perfect when he's writing like this. She buys a paint set for her son who's really artistic. She gets mugged in a train, and then one of the thugs drops a bomb in her purse. And there's he writes about it. Look, all these little sort of vignettes
Mhm.
of Gothamites around the city, talking about
Mhm.
how crime is so bad there, talking about how Batman has changed some things over the story.
Yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
me, that is like, I think that's actually some of the best writing in the whole comic book. It is because it makes as a kid, I had never seen that style or
Yeah.
that subtle, like that sort of element in a comic book before.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it
yeah,
would just
yeah.
go off without warning, just go off. Now you're in a short story of a person, an everyday person, seeing the
Uh-huh.
effects of the main story having. And then you turn the page. Okay, now we're back to Batman. And like, there's a great part in Dark Knight Returns where I think some of the best sequence ever in comic books, where a plane crashes. There's all this, Gotham City's on fire, power's out, EMP went off, and all this stuff. And it's Jim Gordon and all these people talking directly to the viewer,
Hmm.
and like it just has them talking directly to you, just like in the panels. It just has and random people. I don't think you even learn most of their names talking about their experience and their little stories during this event. And again, as a kid, even now, I don't see that storytelling element brought in a lot. And it taught me
That's
so much
interesting.
about paneling in comics and what you can do that's different in comics. And then right after
That's I
Dark,
didn't mean to
dude,
cut you off right quick.
yeah,
It just gave me a good thought. That's actually very interesting because I'm actually writing a superhero universe, but it's not my universe, it's for somebody else. And when I got into comics, I've always said I'm not gonna write superheroes. I want to do something different.
right,
But then and then but this influencer, she has so many hats. She's a musician, she's a model, she's a realtor, and she's also a writer. And I've been following her journey for a couple years now. I don't know how long now because time has flown. But we met 2 years ago officially on Instagram,
mm,
and I've been following her since forever. And I messaged her like one time on Instagram saying, I was like, I'm making a comic. Would you be okay if I make a comic character based on you as inspiration? Because
mm,
I create my characters from people that inspire me.
right,
I didn't think she was gonna text me back at all. It was just a shot. I'm
yeah,
like, just we'll see what happens. Couple hours later, Instagram notifies me. Says notified you. I don't want to say her name because I want her. I actually want people to meet her one day when she's on my podcast. He said she messaged me back. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, wait, she actually saw my message and she says, do you draw your comics or do you actually write them?
mm,
And I'm like, I'm actually the writer of my comics. I have my art team that draws it for me. Next thing I know, she sends me a voice message telling me how she's been trying to get into comics since like 2018,
mm,
and she wants to create a universe, and she just needs a help with it, and like a writer that knows how to write the comics. And I was like, okay. And she said, shoot me your number, and so we can talk. I was like, what? I was like, and then next thing I know, she follows me back. I was like, what the heck?
oh,
I was like, we became friends instantly. Then we had like our first meeting, and we popped off so freaking fast. We became friends and business partners at the same time, and like in like the same setting. You know what I mean?
dude,
And she asked me like, what's like your first I asked her like what's like her ideas like she wants to do,
mm,
like does she have a title in mind? And she gave me the title and everything. And then she asked me like, what my ideas that from her universe. I'm like, this is your universe. I'm just,
oh my gosh,
but then she gave me like the gist of what type of storyteller she wants. I was like, okay, that helps. That helps. And so I pitched like different ideas because my brain started going instantly. Because that's how my brain. If you give me like a gist idea, my brain can click real fast. And then I just went straight into script writing it. Wrote the first issue, sent it to her. She put her spice into it. Now we're in production of issue one. I can't legally give the name of it yet because we have to announce that together because it's still her universe. I'm just a part of it with her. But I will tease that she has already gave me the okay to do issue two and three, so I'm in the process of writing those. And I will say writing superheroes is so freaking hard. And I was
yeah,
like going through this um, phase of like writing her superhero universe. I My strong suit is writing horror and fantasy. A lot of times I accidentally put horror in her universe. I was like, wait, no, she wants superhero. She wants this. But it's been such a good challenge. But she flat out says she loves it, and it's so much. She is one of the easiest people to work with. She's such a sweetheart, and I'm actually having fun writing superheroes. And, I was like, I may consider, but I'm not gonna go full superhero for my universe. I'm just gonna keep the full superhero for her universe. But
if you had to
that's
write a superhero, like and from DC or Marvel, which or I guess even Image from the ones they have, which ones would you want to write for?
Oof, that's a good question. Marvel, I would probably write Black Panther, Captain America, maybe and probably Daredevil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, DC, I would probably do something less known character like Static Shock, because everyone is legit
Static
doing
Shock, yeah.
Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Everyone's legit doing that. But I would go like to more lesser characters like Static Shock or hell, even Aquaman. I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll even wait for Aquaman.
Dude,
Um,
Aquaman, people crap on Aquaman all the time.
I
He's
know
like
that's something I would freaking wait for
he
Aquaman.
controls 70% of the world. Okay.
Right, come on now, he's freaking cool. But I'll also write for uh what's her name?
So yeah, Wonder Woman. I would love the chance to write her, but I don't know what new I could bring to the table yet.
Yeah.
I would say this: the character I
Well,
would
don't get me
love
wrong,
to,
I love Wonder Woman. I just
yeah,
don't think I would be a good writer for her. That's the
no,
thing. I was like,
and
I
like
just
not every writer is gonna be well. Not you can't have one guy who's like going to be a great writer across the board.
yeah.
Like I mean, a Tim
Yeah, I just don't
not.
think I would be a good fit for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, like dude, I would love to do Thor.
Thor would be fun. I mean, Thor
Just
would be fun.
because
I love Greek and mythology and like different type. What is Greek mythology and what's the other
it's Norse.
mythology?
Norse. He's
Thank
Norse.
you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. That one.
I my thing with Thor, I would love. I'm actually not a huge Thor, the biggest Thor fan, but the reason I
I'm
would
not
love to
either,
write
so I'm with you.
Thor is just because I think I could actually bring something different to the table. Like
Mhm.
I'm blanking on his name, but he does written the original comics have like
Mhm.
a human alter ego, and I would love to play with that a lot more, bring that element back into it in a really much more psychologically interesting way.
Yeah, I like that.
I would
Heck
love to
yeah.
play with that element a lot because I think Thor is a character that I mean you have him like that. I don't know that whole dynamic or dichotomy of him like that's his alter ego first, or that's a form he could take. It's being God Thunder. I would love to do something to where it's like I'm blanking on his alter ego's name, but he's an alter ego, but he doesn't know he's Thor. So it's kind of like the idea. It's like, what if Superman was on Earth but didn't know he was Superman?
Mm.
And I don't know. See what I could play around with that idea. I don't know, but I would. Marvel, if you would love to, love to have a new Thor writer. I mean,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I would. I mean, Daredevil was the other one. I think obviously with City
Yeah.
Demons, Daredevil would be a
Yeah.
perfect fit. I would
But,
love. I know it's basic. Spider Man. I think I could really challenge myself. I love Spider Man.
well,
I
that's a
would.
tough one. Spider-Man's a tough one.
Oh, dude, I would. I know it's basic. I know, but it's look.
Yeah.
He's a popular answer for a reason because he's such a cool character. Who's another like sort of lesser known? The Inhumans.
Yeah.
I actually think they're. I don't,
Oh my
who's
God.
another lesser? I would love to do just a single series on Cyclops.
Really
Uh, if
interesting.
if you could take him away with the X Men, now a lot of people would probably hate that, and I
That
understand
you would
why.
you would get canceled. Okay.
Look,
Oh
Marvel
man.
has made a lot
I
more
don't believe in
unpopular
that cancel
decisions in the
culture. I
past.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't believe in that cancel culture. It's just weird to me.
Look, Marvel did one day more. They forced a really good writer to make one day more. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where they split him and MJ up?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they? Yeah, that was a great
I was
decision.
like, I know about that one. I know about that one. Yeah.
Cool. They still that still haunts them to this day. By the way,
My
it's been
God.
what like it's been a long time, and
Man.
MJ and Peter Parker have still not gone back together.
Oh man.
I don't know how much longer they
Uh,
can hold off on it.
all right. That's gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
I know other IP I would probably love to write is Hellboy from Dark Horse by Mike Mignola.
Is he dead?
Who?
Hellboy.
I have no idea.
You could do a spin-off, some like yeah, you're good. You could have it Hellboy. He like there's like mysteries in the 30s. You could just have it set off
But
someday.
yeah, well, I love the him. I mean, I didn't even know Hellboy was a comic either. I watched the movie. I watched the One Pyramid movie. I didn't find out he was a comic until the 29. No, yeah, until after the 2019 movie came out when I found out that Hellboy was a comic.
What'd you think about that movie?
The 2019 one.
Yeah.
It was pretty decent.
I struggle to.
It felt for it felt
I
forced,
love the
but
Ron Perlman movies. I
yeah.
actually think number two is better than the first one. I love Golden Army. Like to me, that's a top tier comic book movie.
Mm.
I don't know. I just felt the 2019 was it 27 whatever 2019 one. I think
2019. I felt I
I don't know. It felt like such a
I think I
big
liked it.
step down in quality for me.
I liked it because it was hard because of Mila's character mostly because I love the villains like I said.
Mm.
But I felt like it was forced, especially at the beginning. They just forced the cussing word in there. I was like, that is forced as hell. It didn't feel
Yeah.
natural whatsoever to me.
The production
uh,
behind it with the director just kind of saying I hate this movie is very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, because that just felt like that was a lot of harsh. It's that's the word. I don't know what to call it. A harsh intention tension behind the production of this movie.
Yeah, because I haven't rewatched it since I first saw it, but it's like
Yeah.
you could kind of from my memory, it was like you can kind of tell that there were a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Like I don't hate the movie. I just like when I think about it, I go, why don't we just get another Guillermo del Toro Hellboy? Like just someone just make it. That's what we want. That's what
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
wants.
we want Del Toro come back. And then I saw the new Hellboy, the Crooked Man one.
I saw that at Flight.
Yeah,
Look, the budget was super low.
like it was. I'm sorry, but I was like, it was all right. I was like, I very say it was the most. It was a better comic accurate version of Hellboy a bit.
Yeah,
I was like, the design, I can see that. I can see it was a little bit close to more of the comic, but I think it still lacked the depth of the comic though,
working
of the
in
character
video, I
bit.
didn't like this. Is what he says. I did not like the color in it. Like I
Yeah,
wish I could have gone in like in post and like changed the coloring on it to
yeah.
make what more what I
So
think.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no, I didn't like the coloring on it. I didn't like the coloring at all. I
Yeah,
thought the shots, the frame of the shots themselves were okay for the most part, but the color
uh,
was just bleh. Um,
and then I also didn't like the because the parts I could barely see it. Like the
no,
coloring, it was
100%.
too freaking dark. I was like, okay, I know you're trying to make a horror movie, but y'all should have fixed up this color pattern because you can barely. It's hurting you. It hurts your eyes a bit.
I mean, again, it felt. I know it was a super low budget movie. That they said the budget was like 24 million. I don't see how it was 24 million. I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
don't even know. I
Because
really don't
look,
know.
I've seen some $24 million movies that look pretty
Yeah,
good. That did not look $24 million. I'm just gonna be real.
it did not. If it was that much, that was a waste of money. If I'm being
And
honest.
yeah, it just I looked at it, and again,
But let me look. I mean, let me look that up right quick. How
I
much was
think the
that?
budget was it?
Say,
I could be wrong, but it was it. I do remember seeing it, so going like, "Oh, what?" It kind of caught me by surprise by how big it was actually.
oh, you were close. It was a $20 million budget.
20 million. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, you
So,
were
but still,
close.
did that look like a $20 million movie? Like
No,
it.
more like $100,000.
No, but like legit, it did. It looked
I was
like
like,
a fan, like a nicer fan
yeah,
film you would find on YouTube.
yeah. And
Um,
I will say it took me like a few times to actually watch it and get through it.
it took me a few times. That's the greatest review ever. It took me a few times to
It's
watch
like
it.
because I was so excited for it and I started watching it.
You were
I was on my
excited,
I was on
dude.
my
I saw
phone
from the first
95% of the
trailer, I knew
time.
immediately what I was getting myself into.
I was on my phone 95% of the time the first time I watched it. Next thing I know, the movie was over. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that I was watching this. And then I tried to watch it again. I fell asleep because
Yeah,
I wasn't in the mood for it. And then I finally gave it a third try and actually forced myself to watch it and see how it goes. I was like, okay, that one I could barely freaking see the anybody in this freaking movie,
right.
especially at nighttime. Like the coloring was off. I mean, this Hellboy looks depressing. He looks like he was depressed, like the actor was depressed playing this character.
It was just
Uh, and
where
then
was how,
like
where
the way
was the
he
20
says
going?
his lines was just it felt weak. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
my dream Hellboy movie, and I think you'd be this. You'll probably agree with me. My dream Hellboy is not even a third Del Toro movie. My dream Hellboy is a full animated movie that is literally the same art style of Mike Mignola's comic. Because Mignola already worked kind of well, he did work in animation before the comic, so he already has that sensibility to it. Just Just
It will be better than the live action, honestly.
you think it would be better than live action?
Yeah, because it's kind
I
of
think
hard
so.
bringing that type of character to life. I mean, look at the characters in Hellboy. That's kind of hard to bring that to life in live action.
Well, it's also I feel like with animation you could do so much more stylistically.
Yeah,
Like even look at the Spider Verse movies.
exactly. And
Um,
budget wise, you can budget better too in animation.
yeah, it would
So
still
yeah,
need to be expensive, more expensive animated movie, but you can still do it.
true. Ooh,
Um,
excuse me, sorry about that.
like
Right, true. But in animation, it will take longer, but you can budget out better than compared to a movie, and you can do a lot more with it.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, I learned that from James Gunn from watching how he explains stuff. That's how I learned it, especially from I'm in business administration, so I
yeah,
kind of learned about the stuff about budgeting and everything.
dude. What did you think? Okay, what is a recent like? I was gonna say like sort of like TV show or whatever like you've been really into like Marvel or anything comic book related.
Wait, say that one more
Like
time. What's
what's
the
a TV
question?
show or something that's like kind of like inspired you or like kind of like really
Oh,
got into?
like in general or like a specific?
Oh, like comic book related.
Okay, comic book related was Agents of Shield.
Really? I never
Agents of
saw it
Shield.
actually.
Really, it's
I
actually really
never
good.
saw Agents of Shield.
It was actually really good. Agents of Shield is actually really good. I will say that.
Is it still canon?
The first four season?
The
No,
first four are still canon.
hold on, wait. The season four was Ghost Rider. Uh, so
I've
it's
never
like
seen that on social media.
the first season. It was connected to the MCU because they mentioned the Avengers. A lady Sif showed up in season one, and like they was actually connected to the MCU, like the first
Right.
10 years of the MCU. Season two and three were still about connected to the 10 years of MCU. I think
Right.
season four and the rest kind of started pivoting away from the MCU and became its own entity.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how it kind of went in a way, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I know season four was the darkest season because that's when Ghost Rider came in. Ray is Ghost Rider. I forgot his first
Yeah.
name. So he
Dude,
came. So
can they please do Ghost Rider and then like make it a movie? Like he's such a cool character. He's dude. Such a cool. Just make a Marvel Knights show or
I need it
movie.
so bad, man. I
Dude,
freaking love it.
when
Oh
I
my
was so
god.
disappointed in Deadpool Wolverine, where because it's mostly a send off again
Yeah.
because we haven't had enough send off for the Fox universe. Like we've had like three movies that have essentially been send off for the Fox universe, and then we had Deadpool, which is like the third one.
Hmm.
So Deadpool Wolverine, I was so disappointed that Nick Cage Ghost Rider did not make a return. I was so disappointed. Like,
I wasn't expecting him to return.
oh, dude, I was hoping because I'm like, oh, we have Electro, cool. We have Blade, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Nope. Okay, fine.
Ben hated
I know, but it
Daredevil.
would have been
You really thought he
hilarious
would
if
have
he
come
was in the
back?
movie. It would
Heck
have been
no.
so funny.
Heck no, dude. That dude hated
Dude,
Daredevil.
look, you can say you hate something enough, but with like Ben Affleck, you're like, oh well, 20 million. I don't know, it's off or something like that. But like just like $1 million, sure.
Nah, dude was not gonna pay that much to that man to do a
No,
random
especially if you got
cameo.
what maybe 10 minutes of screen time.
Right. Jesus.
Dude, but oh, dude, I was
But yeah,
hoping
but
for Nick Cage as Ghost Rider because when I saw them make the return, I was like, oh, Nick Cage, Nick Cage, Nick Cage. No, I was like, that'd
yeah,
been
but yeah,
sick.
and like the last few seasons of Agent of Shield, it went a whole different type of route with aliens and time travel, and it was
What?
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was a fun time. That was actually some fun time on TV, just watching every week on TV.
Dang.
That was a good time. I hated Inhumans. I wasted my time on that show.
You watched all the Inhumans?
Yeah,
I watched two
Inhumans.
episodes. I was like, I already know this is gonna be bad, so I'm not gonna waste my
Good.
time.
I took the torture for you, brother. I watched the
Dude,
entire season. It was horrible.
what do you think about those character designs?
Like I said, it was horrible. We're just gonna skip over that one because I don't want to talk about it.
I love those CGI hair.
Yeah,
Those
I'm like
hair on.
we're just gonna completely ignore that one. Um,
The best?
DC that's DC
Yeah.
was for like the Arrowverse, but I stopped watching the Arrowverse after Crisis on Infinite Earths. I legit stopped watching Flash and like Legends and
I
Supergirl.
I have okay. So I want to know if you agree with me. I think Arrowverse, almost all the shows had the same trajectory where they would start off super super good, and then it would turn to hot garbage. Like I mean, the
except
run.
except for Superman and Lois. That one actually stayed good.
I did watch it.
Watch it. That one actually
See,
stayed good from
because
beginning to end.
I got super into Arrow. Like, this is the greatest. Oh my, they nailed
Yeah.
Green Arrow. How do you nail me? I was like, they've nailed a goofy character.
Well,
And then I was like, and
I'm
then
telling you,
midway through, I was like, this is horrible.
yeah,
And the same with Flash. Flash, oh,
bro,
Flash was great, and then
bro,
halfway through, bleh.
bro,
Dude,
dude. I watched all the Arrow. I stopped watching Flash after Crisis of Infinite Earth because they kept just recycling the storyline to bring back old villains and blah blah
yeah.
blah. Black Lightning did pretty much it just got dull. Legends got too comedic. It got dull and just
Legends,
pathetic.
its tone
Catwoman was
completely
just straight up
changed. It was a
trash.
weird. That was a weird. Legends completely changed its tone. It was so bizarre. I've
Legend
never seen a
season
show
one
do
was
that
the only
before.
good season.
What?
Legend season one was the only good season for me.
Yeah, it was the only consistent tonal wise. And then
Uh,
Batwoman, what was that?
that was completely trash.
If you
I
remember the
stopped. Like,
trailer when that first came out,
oh
whoever
my god,
decided to put the music, I'm a woman.
oh my god,
That was like horrible
dude, don't
representation of that
remind
show.
me.
I remember that show came out. I was like,
That
that
was
was one of the worst
such a
edits I've ever seen.
that was so trash. That was completely
And
trash.
then I watched a show. I'm like, oh no, this is such. Ooh,
And then,
ooh.
but I'm telling you now, watch Superman and Lois
Okay.
from beginning to the very end. That was the most consistent from emotional storytelling to the action to the character development. Best Arrowverse show, bro. I'm telling you right
Best
now.
Arrowverse show.
And yes, the best one because it was actually consistent. It actually kept you on
The
your
Arrowverse are
toes.
not known to be very consistent.
How? That's why I'm like, they must fire a group of writers because this did not feel like the same writers from the other shows.
Well, isn't
And
it technically not part of the? I just read some. Is it
well,
part of the
it's still,
canon
but
Arrowverse or?
technically it's still part of Arrowverse, but it's just on another Earth. It's a different Earth. Yeah, yeah, they do
Sure.
explain that in the show that because I always wonder he never mentions his cousin Carl
Yeah.
ever in the show, and so they actually confirm it in the show that this is a different Earth. This is
Okay.
not the yeah a different Earth. So
Oh, yeah.
that's what
I
makes it
watched a
even
little bit of
better.
Supergirl. I was like, this just isn't for me. And then,
Yeah, dude, I watched Supergirl since the beginning since the first season when it was on the CBS. It should have stayed
hmm,
on CBS because the quality was there and it actually felt like a really good time.
what did you think of Gotham?
First season, that was the best season.
For you
After
think?
that,
Whoa, that's a hot take. You think the first season was the best season?
yeah, because after watching, I mean, because I had all my fun in the first season. Season two, I think was pretty cool.
Okay.
But season three, I predicted everything literally because I know what's gonna happen. So that's why I'm like season one and two are like the best seasons for me. I'll say. But after that, I was like, I'm done watching this show. So I stopped watching it. I didn't watch the
Really?
ending at all.
See, because you
No,
talk
I
to
did.
most
Wait
people.
a minute. I lied. I skipped the final. I skipped the rest of the seasons. I just went straight to the series finale to see if he becomes Batman. That's the only thing I cared for.
What did you
I
think
was like,
about the
okay,
suit?
whatever. Yeah, but first season, I had fun. I felt like that was a really good stepping stone for Gotham. Like, especially the detective cases were fun and
Yeah.
everything. In season two, I think it picked up really good for season one. Season three, it lacked depth for me because I predicted everything was going to
Yeah.
happen, especially when their relationship was growing up. And I was like, I'm like, like that one scene, I was like, that knife finna fall and she finna go berserk. I was like, she did the exact thing I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, but I'm not the only. When my family were watching it together, bro, and we were like, we all predicted what was gonna happen, and we was like, really, we knew. And so we all collectively just said, "How about we just stop watching this trash show
It's
because we're not
interesting.
for we're not for to finish
No,
it."
I always say
I was
it's
like,
interesting.
"Agreed."
Wow, because like most people would say, I actually really rough on the first season because I think the show is trying to find its footing many times of what
Which makes sense
type.
because it's the first season. So
Right, but it's like it's still in that awkward phase of what type of show do we want to be? Do we want to be a police procedural? Do we want to lean more into the I guess zanier Batman, rogues gallery stuff? Like how grounded do we want to be? How grounded do we not want to be? That kind of deal. And to be honest, with the whole show, I felt it was kind of back and forth on that.
like I'm in the same opinion with you on that. I mean, I didn't mind that because this show was just getting started, so I didn't mind it
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah.
And especially since the first season, because first season you have to set your groundwork in the first season. for even to see if it gets picked up. So
Right.
I believe after like the first few episodes, after like the first, I guess I give like the first 3 episodes. If you don't have no grounding after episode 3, your show's screwed.
Yeah, it's
That's how I kind of see television in different ways. And so yeah,
what
but
did you
I'm
think
like,
about
but
the final bat suit at the finale?
I don't know. I was conflicted. I don't really know.
I hated it.
I
I'll tell
was
you
like,
how I felt.
I was like, I looked at it. I was like, is that? Are you sure that's Batman?
They
I'm
could
like,
have done.
I was like, did not. But I thought about the act. But wait, that the actor. But I think he had like a stunt double who was older than the actor to play Batman. It's like, yeah, okay. I was like, that's what I was like, yeah, okay. So
For me, it's like if you're
yeah,
going to end on a shot of Batman, you gotta make sure that shot sells. Like you gotta make if that's the last shot, you gotta make sure it's killer. And I
yeah,
saw, I was like,
yeah,
what the? And I get it.
yeah.
Like part of me is like, ooh, maybe it's trying to be like an early Batman. Like he's still.
I don't know. But even if that's true, they failed it badly.
It looked rough. It looked rough.
But again, I'm telling you, watch Mandalorian. I think you'll have a
Superman looks
blast
great.
from beginning to end.
I've heard good things about it from other people. So yeah.
And they was very smart. They cut it off at 4 seasons, which was perfect because it did not need like 9 seasons like Arrow.
Right.
Because if they went that far, they would have milked it so badly. I feel like it, but they was very smart. They cut it at 4 seasons, bro. Fantastic show, beginning to end. It skips Supergirl entire seasons and went straight to the ending because one, Supergirl got way too political for me. And they drew it out so freaking much. It felt like I
I
was
didn't
watching.
expect the show to get that way, but it definitely did.
It
I was
felt like I
kind of
was watching live
surprised.
news.
Yeah.
I was like, this is supposed to be. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, I saw. I
And
was like,
then
it's super. I was really surprised, like
it
Supergirl. I was like,
got way too
what a weird
political.
show to pick to be like. This is my thing.
And then they after the final season, I didn't watch the series finale until like 3 years later. Until after it, like 3 years later, I was like, oh yeah, this show ended. Let me go watch the series finale. I'm not gonna watch the whole season. Well, even watch the series finale, I can pinpoint what happened anyway. So I wasn't confused. I'm like, and now I think about it, I didn't even watch the Flash series finale. Now I think about it, I did not watch the Flash. I didn't know. But
I had
I
high hopes
watched
for the
Arrow
final
all the way
season.
through. I've been catching up on Samantha Lois. I know the ending of Samantha Lois, which is still beautiful. I didn't care to go back to Black Lightning. I didn't care to go back to Batwoman. The show Titans, I just caught up on. I finished that. I think that was pretty cool.
Well, okay, turned out to be a really cool show with a horrible first trailer. Remember the trailer when it premiered? It was a horrible trailer. Like, it
I
was just a
do.
horrible trailer,
I do.
and
I
I thought the show was gonna suck. And
but
so
it turned out to be very good.
yeah,
That
I
was
was like,
funny.
whoever made that trailer
That
needs to
was
be fired because that was a horrible trailer for a pretty good show.
oh my
Oh,
god,
it was
dude.
so edgy, and it was like, I was like, oh, this is gross.
Oh
Just
my
give us
god.
Teen Titans like the animated show.
Yeah.
Just give it to like, why are we doing this? That was my reaction when I first saw the
Right,
trailer.
right. And I did not finish Doom Patrol. I didn't I kind of got bored of Doom Patrol if I'm being
Doom
honest.
Patrol was pretty cool.
I got bored with it. Well, it's not really I got bored with it. I just wasn't in the mood for it. I think that was the thing. I just wasn't really truly in the mood for it. But I love Titans. But I might eventually go back and watch the final season because I did watch the other seasons before. I didn't watch the final season of Doom Patrol
Yeah.
yet. But it was just like at that moment, like I'm craving something else. So I was like, I'm not really in the mood for this right now. I was like, I might come back to like later down the road. Who knows?
Did you ever watch the Swamp Thing show?
Huh?
Do you remember on when DC had their whole like streaming service for like literally like a second?
PC Universe, yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Do you remember they had a Swamp Thing show, which
My God,
technically is the best.
yes,
Fun
that was,
fact: the best reviewed DC show of all time, actually.
and it was one of the best shows I had.
And they
I was
canceled
pissed
it
they
within
canceled
one
it.
season.
That was stupid. They canceled it
I've
for
never
no
seen
freaking.
it. I've heard it's like amazing.
You never seen it,
No, I mean
bro?
I only started reading Swamp Thing, the comic, because I got one of my friends. This was years ago. Was telling me about Alan Moore. Alan Moore, he's the greatest
Yeah,
comic writer of all time, and all this stuff. And so I read Watchmen. I thought it was great. Obviously, I was like, okay, that's cool. Read some of his other stuff. I was like, okay, he's really good. I read Swamp Thing comics, and his first, technically his second, but his first true issue of Alan Moore Swamp Thing, no joke, is the best single issue of any comic ever. It's called Anatomy Lesson. It's technically a second, but it's the first true Swamp Thing comic of his run. Best single issue of a comic I've ever read. It's amazing. And because
Yeah.
again, for me, it was like you could only the way he told that story only could have been told in comic. No other medium could have done it the way he did it. The way he told that story could only have been done in comics, similar to Watchmen.
I never watched that show.
The Watchmen TV show.
Yeah, I never watched it.
It technically is not even an adaptation of. I don't know how much you know about it. It's not even about Watchmen. It's like so it takes place decades after the events of the comic. So it's weird because you kind of need to have read the comic to know anything about what's going on. It's a
Oh,
really
wow.
weird. It did not
That's an
succeed in the
interesting
ratings.
transition.
I think the show itself is actually really good, but the biggest issue I don't know why, to be honest, I even got greenlit because if you have not read the graphic novel, you have no idea what's going on. It's made because it is made as a sequel to the graphic novel. That's the way the show is.
That's an
So
interesting route
it's
to go.
not friendly to new viewers at all. So I know the graphic novel Watchmen. Everyone knows greatest graphic novel of all time. Historically, probably it is, just in terms of how much it changed everything. And Alan Moore is a legit amazing writer. He probably is the greatest of all time, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, that show I watched. I'm like, I really like it. But because I'm a big Watchmen fan, I read the graphic novel a few times. I don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you don't know anything about Watchmen or you've only seen the Zack Snyder movie, how much you would actually grasp from this. Because again, it's clearly a sequel
I
to
did
the
see the Zack
comic,
Snyder movie.
not the Zack Snyder movie.
I did see the movie,
What
but I
did you
never
think
saw
about
it.
the movie?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
So there you go.
That's the only I don't remember it. I just know I saw it, but I don't remember it whatsoever. I don't know if I liked it, so I'm like, I don't care to go watch it again. But
There's one thing in that movie that is like objectively 10 out of 10. And that is the title sequence, the opening title sequence. I'm not joking. That is legit, like maybe the best opening title sequence I've ever seen in any movie ever.
really,
I think it's amazing because it succeeds on. Watchmen is built on a lot of like it creates its own history,
yeah,
and that's a big part of Watchmen is that superheroes have been around for a long time, and
yeah,
these older guys have been kind of phased out, and now there's a new
yeah.
generation that the government forced to phase out.
Mm.
So that's a lot of stuff to teach an audience to give them context for the story. Especially in a film, that's a lot of exposition. They do it within like 2 or 3 minutes of that opening title sequence seamlessly. They set up this is an alternative history where America won the Vietnam War, all this stuff. They set up their history and their exposition within that title sequence of their alternative history, history of superheroes seamlessly. It's perfect. I think it's that part of the movie is 10 out of 10. The rest of the movie is like but that sequence is incredible.
Yeah, I don't remember any part of that
Rewatch it on
movie
YouTube when
whatsoever.
you can.
So,
It's awesome.
oh my God. But yeah, Swamp Thing 2019. If you know the show Teen Wolf, it's with the girl who played Allison, Crystal Weed.
Okay.
She's the what's the doctor person. I forgot the title of the character name, but she basically works with Swamp Thing because in the show the Swamp Thing. I'm not gonna say it. I want you to watch it so you experience it
Okay, I'll
yourself.
watch it.
But Crystal Reed's in there. I'll say that.
Okay.
But I think they should have freaking renewed it because that was one of the best shows they have made.
And no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, because it came out 2019, dude.
Yeah, no, but think about it. It's like, people still, I know like it's getting a new season, but people still talk about the early season of Daredevil. People still talk about.
Probably because Daredevil's back with the new season. That's probably why.
True, but I would still say, even before Born Again was even announced, people would still talk about, they mirror Daredevil. Yeah, no one really talks about, because I think even when Swamp Thing came out, first off, DC
Also,
Universe,
Daredevil's
not
on a
enough
bigger
people.
platform than Swamp Thing was.
Right, because I was about to say, I think the biggest key was to that is that Swamp Thing. A, it's a much more niche character.
Yeah.
B,
It was on a smaller
no
platform.
one had DC Universe.
No, at all. At
So
all.
that's a big hindrance to people. You have
Yeah.
a character not a whole lot of people know of in a show on a platform that not a lot of people want, really, to be honest with you. and that
Yeah,
doesn't
like I
exist
didn't
anymore. So
like I didn't even know something at all. But when they announced Crystal Reed was in it, I'm a big fan of her from Teen Wolf. That's why I watched it. I was like, and plus the way they explained it was a horror show, so I was
yeah,
like, I'm interested because
yeah,
I'm a horror fan. I'm a huge horror fan. And but yeah, it's I think between Superman and Lois something, I think you'll actually have a good time watching those. So check those out. I think they're both on HBO Max if you have that or
yeah,
something, but they're on HBO Max, I believe. But yeah,
yeah,
and speaking of DC, did you see that James Gunn Superman?
yeah. I did. I really enjoyed it. I was okay. So I'm gonna say, hopefully I don't make a lot too many people mad. About 30 minutes of the way in, I was like, I don't know if I like this. The pacing of the movie, at least in the first 30 minutes, maybe 40, whatever, just felt all over the place. Like it felt kind of off. And apparently, the first original cut of the movie, the way the script apparently was structured, is supposed to be like a week with Superman, is like the structure of the movie. So there were originally moments where there were title cards going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And knowing that information and rewatching the movie, you can 100% tell when those title cards were supposed to pop up. And so for me, it's like, I think to be honest, I think the pacing of the first 30 minutes is a little rough. However, he more than makes up with it. James Gunn more than makes up with it for it by that he perfectly understands Superman. To a T understands Superman. David Cornsweet, great actor. I don't particularly like the suit. But, whatever.
The
Um,
suit looked baggy, but yeah.
well, even the overall, I don't like all these lines. Marvel's gone away
Oh,
from it
interesting.
more. Too many lines, unnecessary lines. What are we doing? Like, it's just unnecessary.
Too many lines. Oh my God,
Like, it's
you're
even a
the
meme at
first
this
person I
point. The
heard
comic,
say that. Actually, talk about the line.
it's a meme at this point with Marvel costume signs. There's so many unnecessary just lines all over the place.
Yeah,
Like with Spider-Man, the original Tony Stark suit, cool enough, but stupid lines. And there's all these weird lines. And Superman suit has the same Marvel problem. There's all these weird lines all over him. Like, you don't need
yeah.
it. Just give him a suit, put the logo on it, and call it a day. It's perfect. So it's like with Spider-Man. The perfect Spider-Man suit has already been made. It's just the Spider-Man suit.
Yeah,
Like, it's not that complicated. So,
I love that so
and it's like,
You're right, though.
I'm getting way too amped up about a suit that's absolutely like
Yeah,
kind of okay. The movie's really good. I think it's like it felt to me as a big comic book fan, big DCAU fan. It felt like, in my opinion, the greatest rendition of Superman was the DC animated show Superman, right? I mean, the '90s cartoon I think was the perfect encapsulation of that universe of like just Superman and just who he is as a person. And so the movie felt like a live action remake of that show. And to me, I love how it fully embraced the kind of zanier, more cartoonish stuff of Superman lore, because that's just is Superman. And a lot of the kind of zanier stuff I love. I thought I was really iffy initially on the casting of Lex Luthor. I thought the actor killed it. He was great. I
yeah.
love that it fully embraces comic book
Like
roots.
Nicholas Holt is such a underrated
I
actor.
wasn't a fan of him when he was first cast, but
Really
I'm
interesting.
still hoping for
I'm
the
not gonna
day.
lie, I wasn't either. I wasn't either.
I'm still hoping for the day. I think the perfect Lex Luthor actor ever is would be Billy Zane, because
My
I
God,
actually love
I
the
did not think
dynamic.
about Billy Zane.
I actually love if Lex Luthor, in my perfect world, if Lex Luthor should be in his like maybe 50s, and Superman should be a younger guy. And I think it would be better if Lex Luthor is like kind of a hulking figure, like a bigger dude. Because my thing is like you read All Star Superman, Lex Luthor hates Superman because he feels like he's been handed everything. Well, Lex has had to
Yeah,
build and work for everything, including
yeah,
his physique, including being strong. And so I think Billy Zane, you know, obviously it didn't happen. It probably won't happen at this point. Would have been or could be in some show like the perfect Lex Luthor actor ever. Jesse Eisenberg did not do a particularly good job, but was that him or the direction or the script? Probably everything in between.
yeah. I don't ever talk about him. So yeah,
Zack
no.
Snyder is actually pretty good at casting, by the way, for the most part, which is weird.
Yeah, he just had the worst Lex, but everything else was fine.
Rough.
like
Um,
everything else was fine.
but
But
yeah,
yeah.
dude, the Superman movie, I really enjoy the action. I'm really excited to see where the DCU goes. It just, I don't know, with the DCU, I know plans have changed since it was first announced. I was weirded out when he was like, okay, when James Gunn had this conference, we're going to start with Superman. It's like, okay, makes sense. He's the DC character. Our next movie's going to be like, I'm blanking on the name. I think their movie's technically been canceled at this point, but it's like has been like some team up movie.
Oh, he's talking about Superman, the Authority.
Yeah, like what are we doing? The Authority.
Yeah, like you talking about
I've
the
read The
Authority,
Authority.
and
That should
then
not be. I've read that comic. I'm one of the few people that have. That
yeah.
should not be your second movie. I'm telling you.
Dang,
That's
really?
like The Boys.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they're very
That's
much like
oh
to be
boy.
honest with you, The Authority is like a parody of the Justice League.
Of course.
Like they're
I
like a
saw the
hard
cover art.
boiled
I
R
thought
rated
they were.
satire like The Boys. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
that's a weird one to pick as your second movie. Why not Wonder Woman or Martian Manhunter or Green Lantern, which I know there's a
I mean,
TV show, but
he
whatever.
still kind of went that route because after Superman came Peacemaker season two, so he kind of still had that rough route of
Yeah,
because season two was kind of all over the place,
it started
especially
out super promising, and I was like, oh, this is not really. And then by the very end, like, this is not really going
yeah.
anywhere.
I was like, Jay, I was like, by the way, if you kids like Superman, do not watch Peacemaker because Peacemaker is not for kids. James should have put that disclaimer. Is that talking about Peacemaker comes right after Superman? I was like, it's connected. I was like, you should have put a disclaimer that it's not for kids
Yeah, it's just
because you're
what
being kind of hard.
this is a big deal in the comic book community nowadays. I think it's funny. So, do you think? And I don't think this would ever happen now. I don't think James Gunn wants it to happen.
Okay,
Do you think Robert Pattinson should be the DCU Batman?
no,
No, why?
no, I don't think his fit in James Gunn's universe. I think his needs to stay with or what's that man name?
Matt Reeves.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. My brain farted. But with the way Matt Reeves created Patterson's Batman, I don't think it would really fit with James Gunn's vision
Yeah.
for the DC universe. That's why I like that he keeps it as a DC Elseworlds.
Right.
Uh, and like looking at Robert and David Coulson, I don't see that chemistry. I don't
Dude,
think that
I actually love having them being similar ages.
yeah, yeah. But I don't think their chemistry would match as well though.
I'll just say this
But
because I'm kind of on the fence on it, to be honest, because I think because they're so different tonally, that's kind of what I want in my DC universe. I want every film
ah,
to totally feel like a Batman film should
uh,
never feel like a Superman film, in my opinion.
yeah.
A Superman
Agreed,
film
because
should
they're
never
two
feel,
different characters.
and Metropolis and Gotham are very different
Very
cities.
different.
It's
Two
like San
different things.
Francisco and Oakland. Okay, it's not the same. Like, dude, it's like. But I'll say this. One of the big reasons I'm actually more okay with it, again, don't think it will happen, is
Okay.
because I'm actually not a big fan of, at least for the moment, where James Gunn wants how James Gunn wants his Batman to be. I'm not, again, ideally,
I
I
heard.
want
Oh
them to
yeah,
be
I saw
this.
his comments. Yeah.
Ideally, I want them to be the same age.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a big fan of starting off a new Batman with Damian, because to me, what that means is that now you're just skipping over literally
That's
decades.
Damien. That's his son. That's Bruce's son, right?
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
he's like, like the third Robin, whatever. But like,
Jesus
because of
Christ.
that, what that
I
means
lose
is
track of
we're
these.
doing another older
Yeah.
Batman, which we just had in Ben Affleck. We're also, what that also, in my opinion, bigger deal, which means we're skipping over decades of great Batman stories with Dick Grayson, with Jason Todd, with Tim Drake, with like Batgirl even. It's like, we're just skipping over. Why can't we just get Dick Grayson? Like, okay, we get,
Dude, Dick Grayson's my favorite one.
dude, that's everyone's favorite one
I
for a
was like,
good reason.
yeah, Dick Grayson's the favorite one.
Oh my goodness. And so it was just like, when I heard that, I'm like, so that means we're going to skip over, and I guess he's going to start with the Bat family. I'm like, no, I want to see how that is built up. I want to see the progression. because we've never seen that before. And it's like,
Right.
uh,
Yeah, and I
again, it could
know.
be a good movie, but ideally,
Uh, yeah, I know. Supergirl comes out this July. There. I saw the trailer.
I'm intrigued by it. That's what
I'm
I'll say.
intrigued by Lobo.
Yes, Jason Momoa is like the perfect
I'm
casting
intrigued-
ever.
if I mean, love. I'm like the Supergirl actress. I love her from House of Dragons.
Yeah, she's
She's a
great.
beautiful woman, beautiful actress. But I am so happy to see not James, sorry, Jason. Too many J's.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jason Momoa in his element as freaking Lobo. And just from the teaser of him as Lobo, I'm like, hell
Yeah.
yes. But that's either going to make or break the movie.
Do you remember the story Jason Momoa gave? I think some interview. He said, "Which action arc called him? Was like, I have a role for you." He's like, Lobo, because he does. He looks just like him.
He looked just like
and,
Lobo.
and he's like, "What? No." He's like, "Lobo's not in my universe." It's like, oh,
Oh my
so you're
God.
Aquaman. It's like,
So
what?
I was like, I'm very intrigued by that, and I was a bit, I'm actually a bit iffy with Supergirl with the aspect of a drunk superhero.
I
I was
think it
like,
will work because it's the starting ground for a character arc.
okay,
Because it's very much based, because and James Gunn said this, it's very much based on Tom King's run on Supergirl, and his run Supergirl is she's technically older than Clark Kent, but she was let out of her cryo chamber later than Clark, so she's
ah,
technically his older cousin.
okay,
So, but the difference is why she's more, at least in Tom King's run, why she's that more initially drunk fool kind of character. She's dealing with trauma because she was old enough to first see Krypton destroyed, so she could actually understand what was going on. Superman doesn't have any memory of that, because he was a child, he was a baby. So because she's actually old enough and then to experience all that, she has all this trauma and she does that through drinking, and then she learns to become a superhero. So I think that because I know a lot of people were caught off by like, why is she like get drunk? I think it's a interesting place for her to start off as long as they explore it well, to then for her to end up being like a superhero.
that's
Yeah,
the part right there. Is
yeah.
the if they explore it well part.
Which I hope they do. Like I think James
Yeah,
Gunn's a legit good filmmaker. I love his Superman movie. I even rewatched it this week. I really the 30 minutes again pacing's a little off, but it's a really good movie.
yeah.
Is it better than Man of Steel? I'm not going to answer that, but that's a whole thing.
Well, that's a whole different type of medium. But when I first watched Man of Steel, I really loved it. But that was before I really knew what Superman was.
I will say this
Even
though.
though I grew up watching
Yeah.
Smallville,
Okay.
I grew up watching Smallville, but still I didn't know comics.
Yeah.
I based it off the Smallville. So I loved Man of Steel watching it for the first time. One because I thought it was a different take based off Smallville. I didn't know
Yeah.
about the comics yet. So I'm in the Smallville area. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it's cool. And then, but now I'm actually into comics and actually reading comics now. I'm like, I look at it differently. And it's like, okay, because I was like, it's so divided. I was like, I see, well, some of my mutuals on Facebook talking about how Man of Steel was more comic accurate because yada yada yada. But my mutual, he
There is
flat
no
out
way it's
hate.
more complicated. I'm just being honest. There's no
But
way.
honestly, honestly, my mutual, he's a really James Gunn hater. So that's pretty much, and because he always makes a post about every single day he makes a post about James Gunn, like the DC. And he's talking about the real fans, yada yada yada. I don't know. Because you know I say real fans saying that James Gunn is more accurate, and then some real fans calling the Snyder fans toxic. I was like, for the record, you Snyder fans are toxic, especially y'all want to make death threats because y'all hate a freaking movie. Like, are you kidding me? I was like, even though I'm a Snyder fan, but I'm not a freaking Snyder cult. Right? I'm like, I criticize a lot of his stuff too because I'm a fan. I criticize a lot of his stuff. I freaking hated his Sucker Punch movie. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't even remember it now.
Yeah, have you seen Rebel Moon? Get ready.
Rebel Moon was rough, but I enjoyed it because Sophia's in it. I'm being honest, bro. I'm being honest. I love Sophia. I'm being freaking honest. I mean, Sophia's in it. That's why I love Rebel Moon. Like the director's cut is longer, but not much better. It's just he just added sex into it. But
What
uh,
about Batman v Superman? That's even more divisive than Man of Steel.
I liked Batman v Superman until that scene. They said Martha. Okay, now we're best friends. I'm like, really, Zach? Really? Really?
I
It's
have
like,
so there's not enough time to get into it. I really don't like that movie. It
we're
has good
we're gonna
moments in
we're
it, but
gonna
I
do that
really
one.
don't like it.
We're gonna
Yeah.
do that with part two of episode.
Dude,
We're
I can really get into it. Why I really like. I kind of feel strongly. I really don't like that movie.
we'll we'll do that to the sequel to this episode. So,
Okay.
but that. But I can, yeah, I can break up that freaking movie and tell you why I hate it a lot. But also, well, I don't hate movies, or I dislike them. I don't say I hate. I don't like using the word hate because I don't hate stuff. I dislike it, and I'll tell
Mhm.
you why.
See, that's healthy.
But
I'm not
that's
healthy,
that's
so
gonna
I
be
just
that's
don't
gonna be
like
our
them.
next episode when we
Okay.
come back. So teaser for our next episode, guys, when we come back together to talk about that. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. And also my question when I brought up Superman because I want to get to your videography mindset now.
Mhm.
Because I told you at the beginning of the show, I was like, when I watch movies, I pay attention to the camera angles and stuff.
Right.
And Superman, I really love his fight scene angles,
Yeah.
especially when he's flying through the air, like he's past like the fire that's coming,
Yeah.
like how he did like the twisting, like from a videographer standpoint, because you know more than I do, because I'm just starting to study it. How did you, when you was watching the movie, how did you like feel with the camera angles and like certain scenes?
James Gunn loves his wide angle lenses. I personally, I mean, that's like kind of his style now. Like with the like you have a wide angle lens and really up close. That's why you get this weird distorted effect. Like especially with his head flying. Like people freaked out about that for no reason.
Yeah.
I think in moments it works really awesome. It shows it can pull back to give you a really cool sort of vision of the whole fight, pulling close like it does for like the big chest emblem. Like for that one scene, he's like flipping around all these like Luther agents or whatever they are.
Hmm.
When James Gunn knows how to film a fight scene, and I love it because following his career, you see how much better he got through over time. Like the fight scenes he was able to pull off in Guardians 3 was not really there in Guardians 1 or Guardians 2.
You're right. Yeah, you're not
And
wrong.
I'm just like, I really like it. I know a lot of people don't like the wide angle lens. I kind of dig it sometimes. I do know it kind of gives a big head look when he's flying. But, I mean, if that's the biggest problem you have with the movie, like, I don't know.
But I didn't have a problem with it. I freaking love the angles.
No, I'm not saying you, but just like people
Oh
in
yeah,
general. Yeah.
yeah. I've seen like comments about people thinking that his face was CGI when he was like zoomed in, and so when he was flying at the beginning of the movie, like when he
Yeah.
was like flying in the camera, it's like, dude, his face looks CGI. I'm just like, it doesn't, guys.
Dude.
They just zoomed in on his face kind of too close, and then he like about to hit the freaking
Yeah.
camera. And I mean, you also actually like outside of comics, like TV shows that inspired me, like Stranger Things inspired me.
I only just
Like
started
outside,
watching Stranger Things. I'm late to the
yeah,
party.
outside of comics, like Stranger Things, Teen Wolf, Vampire Diaries, the originals, Supernatural, True Blood. Yes, I'm saying like a lot of horror fantasies. Like even outside of like movies, like Harry Potter's, the Percy Jackson. Well, actually, the Percy Jackson show. I love the movies not so much anymore. The Hunger Games movies, even going like Underworld, like the Underworld franchise, I freaking love. Like those, like just to give you a gist of like my inspiration when I'm writing. And
Yeah.
like my first comic is actually Arcfire. That's my
Mm-hmm.
Arcfire. I'm 2 issues in. Just about issue 2. It's my science fiction horror thriller action series. And like character Cathio, he has a cosmic power, but he doesn't know how to like fully control yet. And he doesn't know how he got it because he woke up in an egg-like cocoon in a science lab.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going on his journey because he has no memory of who he is. So he's on his journey trying to figure out where he's from, how he got here, why is he here, and then in issue 2 he meets a vampire and a witch. Yeah, so so it's gonna be in this series. You're gonna meet a lot of different type of characters and creatures, because I love making creature characters. But there will be wolves in the story. There will be other witches, other supernatural characters, and it's gonna be hybrids as
Yeah.
well. I would say that. And Skin Shifter. This is Skin Shifter. This is my first graphic novel coming out later this year,
Oh, cool.
based on my novel called Jackal Bunny, which you can actually find on Amazon if you like. But Skin Shifter is more of an alter ego. horror story, like if you like the movie Split and like Unbreakable Glass. I mean, I don't do 24 personalities. No, no. But Skin Shifter is about Sabrina Jackal. This is Sabrina Jackal, or portrait actually. Sabrina Jackal and her alter ego, Jackal Bonnie, are sent from hell by a prince of hell called the Corpus Fiend. Going after a woman named Amaya Fitzgerald. Maya is just simply trying to live her life through college and just basically live her life, but she keeps getting attacked by the skin shifter, and so you're on a journey trying to figure out what why does he want her soul so bad? Like why does the
Mm.
Corpus Fiend want Amaya so bad? And I think this is one of my favorite stories I've written so far, if I'm being honest, because it's so much fun writing, and this is my first graphic novel. It's gonna be about 90, maybe 100 pages, give or take. Then my current comic that's out now is on Kickstarter called Halloween.
Hmm.
So if you like clowns, I'm not sorry. I mean, if you don't like clowns, I'm not sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, my brain's kind of going different. But if you like clowns, cool. If you don't, I'm not sorry. Uh, Halloween is about two clowns going around on social media finding victims to kill. Yeah, it started out as twin brothers, Evan and Ethan, who are the original duplicate killers, but they have been dead for years. So in Halloween, there's two new clown killers doing the same thing Evan and Ethan did years ago. But the thing is, these two clowns are going after a group of friends. So you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the connection with these friends and why are they going after this certain group? And because Evan and Ethan went after one person at a time, but these two clowns are going after this entire group. And it's like, are they trying to up the ante, like be more famous
Yeah.
in a way than Evan Ethan, or is that something more that meets the eye, that's more sinister to the lore? And right now, I'm splitting this book in like the two parts. This Kickstarter is part one, but every time I can talk about it, it's probably gonna become a trilogy because there is a lot of storytelling that I have in it that I need to make sure I don't have plot holes.
Yeah.
So it actually might end up being a trilogy, and that's on Kickstarter right now. Uh, and I got into creating these stories because one, I crave originality and creativity, imagination, and I I got tired of Hollywood same rehashes. Speaking of Hollywood, give you a teaser. Are you a fan of the movie Scary Movie
Yeah.
by the Reyes brothers? The
Yeah.
Scary Movie 6 trailer. I saw it from watching Scream 7, and it looks freaking phenomenal. I'm so glad they're back. I'm so excited,
I'm
and they
interested to see how
actually,
it performs. I'm really interested because I want to know if
bro,
people will want to come back for it. I hope
dude.
so.
In the trailer, they gave you flat out warning that this is not a safe space. Every line would be crossed. And they flat out said, Marlon Wayans said, even sinister people need to laugh. We don't give a fuck if you get offended
Right.
whatsoever. And I was like, finally, some good comedy. Like, bring that
Yeah.
sense of humor back. Like, come on. And I was like, it looks so freaking funny. And I was like, yes, this is gonna be the first comedy I've seen since I don't know how long now.
Right.
And like after watching it, I got inspired. I'm actually doing like my own like horror spoof comedy comic that I'm calling Tinseltown Terror.
Nice.
And the story of this horror comic is like it's kind of like my parody of making fun of Hollywood. And so it's called Tinseltown because it's the town where it's a town where everything's being rehashed
Right.
equals and have basically executives have no balls of taking a risk
Yeah, it sounds
making
like
something
Hollywood now.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna make a spoof of them and make fun and just have
Right.
fun with it. And I actually told one of my friends who was actually on my live stream podcast this past Friday. I was like, dude, I'm actually thinking about doing my own type of spoof scary movie style comedy. That's a test, like challenge myself. I know I'm naturally funny, but when you're writing it, it's hard
Yeah.
because I'm really good at improving. But I'm already starting writing the pages, and I'm laughing at myself. I'm saying, I'm like, do I care if people get offended who ever reads this? And I'm like, you know what, Marlon doesn't. Why should I? I was like, I want because I love the man. I want to make people laugh too. I was like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be remembered as like the guy that does like horror and stuff. I want to be a guy that brings true storytelling, that brings excitement and laughter, and also have fun with like I don't want to be like Stephen King because he's known for all the horror crazy stuff he's doing. Like I don't want to be like a one footnote type of person.
Well, Stephen King's done a lot of stuff outside of horror, though.
But he's always known as the horror king, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that's trying like I'm always trying to be like put my hands like to different things and just have fun and just
Mm-hmm.
expand my horizon a bit.
What's a genre like you wanna they haven't done that you're like looking for? Like, oh, this is like really out of my normal wheelhouse,
Yeah,
and like you want to hit. Because like for me, it's like
exactly.
sci-fi. I want to do like galactic sci-fi.
Man, sci-fi is so much fun. Dude, it's so much fun doing. Man, that's why I make Arcfire my
Yeah,
sci-fi for comic first. But we come up to time for this episode. But first, I want to thank you for coming on, brother.
yeah, man.
Um,
Thanks for having me
and
on.
se and second, you're welcome back anytime. Especially we got to do that part two to yeah, BF.
I think BS may be a better name for it. So.
Yeah, most definitely. But before we hop off here, man, please tell us where we can follow you on your social so we can keep update on how your journey going with your comic and everything.
Yeah, so the best way to keep up with City of Demons and everything that's going on is Instagram on City of Demons underscore comic. We also have an X account, City of Demons also underscore comic. So you can find us on either platform. We're really hoping to expand more into X soon, and we are in the process of getting together a Discord for sort of exclusive updates and art that people can see and get really into how the series is developing behind the scenes, which is always fun and not stressful at all. And so we're really excited to keep sharing and keep growing our footprint on social media. And so yeah, also the link in my bio, my Instagram bio, is the link to buy issue 1 of City of Demons. Issue 2 comes out March 25th, so again, just in a couple weeks. And again, the link is on Wiseacre Comic Books website. So just look at Wiseacre Comics, find City Demons, and you'll find the purchase link. So yeah, again,
Heck it.
I think it's the type of comic that if people give it a shot, they'll really, really dig. And I've been really loving a lot of the feedback I've been getting on the comic.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, dude. And I am Kevin Davis. You can find me on Instagram at I am Kevin Davis Official, and also my company Instagram at Kevysie, and kevysie.com, and Facebook at I am Kevin Davis CEO, and also TikTok the same, I am Kevin Davis CEO, and here on Spotify at Kevysie Fate Podcast. And this has been an episode with me and Mr. Parker Newman. I appreciate you, man. Until next time, guys, we will definitely be back quite a few times talking about BVS and other stuff. But check out City of Demons, guys. The link will be in the description of this video. Go buy it up. Get this brother paid and go support his work, man. And check out my stuff too. I have my comic Hall of Fame on Kickstarter right now. Link in the description of this video. And also, whoever's watching this, like, subscribe, comment anything. If you want us to review a movie, we will totally do it. And we'll see you guys next time on Kevysie Fate.